My folding doors are scraping on the floor as I open and close them, so I'm going to have to raise them a bit. In order to do that, I first remove the pin, this pin at the top, and then there's another pin which I'm going to remove with a screwdriver. Just get it under there and sort of pull it down. After you get the door off, lay one end of it on a chair and the other end on the ground so that you can adjust the pin height. There's a screw thread there that comes out as the wheel is turned. Clockwise is making it higher and recedes as it's turned counterclockwise. Now we're about to replace the pin. It's a two-man job. One man to hold and shift the door while another person goes down on the ground and tries to get it in the pivot point. When you're dropping the pin in, it's best to use a flashlight so you can see exactly where the pin is, and then you can say to your helper, raise it a bit, forward a bit, lower it now, that kind of thing. If your folding doors close together nicely and snugly, then don't move this pivot point around. If on the other hand they're too close together, you can move this pivot point back as many notches as you want. By the way, when you're moving the door from place to place, make sure not to allow the pin to scrape the floor. If the doors are too close together, you don't have to remove the whole door. Just lift out the one pin. You can put a screwdriver on the pivot block and then gently tap it with a hammer. This will move it along the rail, but don't overdo it. Just do a little at a time until the doors fit together perfectly. If you need to move the pivot block the other way, in other words, towards the center, then you can put a block of wood here and a long lever, in which case I'm using a long screwdriver, very long, and just wedge it in there, and in that way you can move the pivot block one notch over. If the doors don't close together correctly, another thing you can check is the space at the top of the door versus the space at the bottom of the door. These two spaces should be about equal.